You are listening to the Misfit Sessions podcast, the show that brings you the tips and advice for health, wealth, mindset, and marketing, along with some of the most inspirational and influential people from California's beautiful Central Coast and beyond. Here are your hosts, Kris Spencer and Brian Meek.
All right. What's going on, Kris? How are you today?
I'm doing amazing, Brian. Thank you so much. How are you doing, brother?
I am super pumped on this new setup we got here. We got these new microphones, we got the new stands. Everything's starting to come together.
It is.
And there's been a lot of changes in the podcast since we started in March.
Sure.
There's been a lot of changes in just in general in business for both of us.
Sure.
And I think that's kind of what we want to talk about today is we're coming towards the end of the year. Last podcast we talked about how to crush it. Let's talk about
that was actually
a great podcast,
exceptional podcast. So please go back and listen to that one. I'm a firm believer in you get better as you go, and sometimes you just have to start walking down that path, right? But you had mentioned how we've kind of scaled up the podcast over the last 20.
I want to add real quick.
Sure.
We do this for free. We don't. There's no commercials. There's no ads or anything like that. I mean, we have certain product placement. We got things that we talk about.
I mean, product placement. I drink this more than water now.
Yeah, and
center.
But
center.
What really helps us with this podcast is to rate and review, subscribe to the podcast, let people know about it, because that's what helps us get it out there.
Sure.
And with the videos, if you're watching this on video, to make sure you like, share, comment on the videos, because that helps with the algorithms within Facebook and Instagram or wherever we put these videos at YouTube, and helps us get the message out there, because we do this for free. We want to make sure we're providing value for you, all different aspects that we talk about: health,
100%.
wellness, business, all of that, and that really helps. So let's talk about, now that we kind of dropped the obligation stuff, let's talk about change. What has changed in your business over the last 12 months? There's been a lot of changes.
I just want to backstep really quick. Brian, not only does he not do it, I mean, he does it for free. He actually donates his time. He comes down here. He spent a lot of time putting all this stuff here together. We have invested heavily into the new equipment you see here, the beautiful warm fireplace that's cooking behind us.
Hot in here.
In the winter months in California, we really have to dig deep and have a electronic fireplace. But it's an investment of time. We feel it very valuable, and we want it to be a great asset. So go back and do those things. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you to do that stuff, right? So yeah, it's going to help us out. But what has changed besides me becoming more aggressive, right? I've been digging deep into systems and routines and reinvesting into the business. We have some amazingly talented individuals on the bus right now. We are writing the Max Fit University. Bernard Green, our integrator, our operations chief, is going to town and documenting every single task that helps or is mandatory for us to run this crazy growing machine. So this is something that's brand new, something we thought would be a lot easier and a lot quicker to do, but we are and have been committed to completely understanding every process of our business, from marketing. This man right here, who I have to add has been completely scaling up his skill set. Meek marketing and consulting. His video game is on point. We're meeting constantly. Brian has come up with some next level marketing stuff that is going to help us propel some sales here in the Christmas season, right? But so marketing is under control. Our finances, we know every penny where it's coming and going. We're trying to also leverage our buying power a lot more, and that's negotiating with our vendors, appreciating our vendors a lot more, and co-branding and having them bring in their staff, having them. There's some fans out there, right? Every aspect. So you have marketing, you have financial, you have operations. When I mentioned Bernard creating the whole MaxFit University, and we have training of our staff. So staff, if you work for MaxFit, you'll know every step along the way. And it's the goal with us is to make it a much more enjoyable place to work, where there's no question on terms of what your job requirements are and what's required of you. So we're putting job descriptions for everybody, from myself to Bernard, from Brian. I think it's been a lot easier for you because you know what we need via your experience, but you're also not a mind reader. So we've scaled up our meetings, and we've talked about that. It was very interesting in the beginning because it was all new, uncharted territory, especially for me, not coming from a big corporate background. And it felt like we were having meetings initially just to have meetings, but just like anything else, the podcast has gotten better over time. Our meetings have been a lot more effective and to the point and concise, and we've been able to understand what Brian can bring to the table and his vast knowledge. We're able to like utilize it better with the common ground that we're kind of having with these meetings. So it's become a lot more structured business, which is I got to be honest, was even hard for me to adapt to the structure. Right. So, but like anybody else, routines, habits, structure is something I've been preaching for 2 years. It's something I've been lacking just as an individual, like self-awareness wise. I never really thrived in structure. So we're creating that structure, and I've actually come to really rely on it on a daily basis. So yeah, that in a nutshell, that's what we've been doing at MaxFit. But there's also a lot more. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changes. Like I'm not an outsider, I'm an insider, but I'm an outsider in the sense that I'm not here every day. When I first started with you, I was here a lot more than I am now. That's good and bad, but at the same time, we did used to like there were times when we'd get together and I'd leave, and you and I probably both felt like that was like a waste of time for both of us.
Waste of gas, time, everything.
Just in general. But some of our greatest ideas and our best work came out of those meetings, and it gave us the ability to kind of reflect back now and say, hey, there was a lot of wasted energy, there's a lot of wasted productivity, and now like that we're more dialed in, we're more in tune with how we adapt to things, how we want to produce, the quality of the work we want to do. It's a lot different. And I
think it just has a lot more meaning to it and a lot more purpose. And I think the biggest understanding, I think what you're saying is like, we want to keep that creativity, free-flowing creativity with a lot more purpose and intention. So I know for me, I've always felt like strangled when I was really overly structured, but adapting by using techniques like writing stuff down and keeping notes and using like my notes on my phone to write down the creative content and then readdressing it later.
Right.
It's just this juggling match that when you're create this machine, we're trying to control chaos, right? And that's the impossible part about being a next level business. The next level businesses have all figured out how to control that chaos and to continue to grow and to continue to bring that value and continue to have that overall quality experience. It requires managing and understanding how to manage extreme chaos, and I think we're on the right path. In fact, I know we are.
Yeah, I mean, to the other side of that is we would like there were times, I know both of us have felt this way, where even without the structure, right? Like you were talking about being strangled by structure, but even the opposite side of, especially like unstructured, when it came to creativity, there were times when it felt like, I don't even want to be on social media today.
No,
I don't want to do anything. I don't want to put out a post. I don't want to do a story. I don't want to, and there were times when I just was like, I can't do it. I just can't do it today. I don't have the mental capacity. I don't have the desire. I'm tired of it. And, in the last few months, really being able to refocus, finding the video thing and kind of developing the skills there, with you guys, with other clients. And then also just this podcast is like a unique ability for us to get the things out that we want to say that sometimes you can't put out on video or you don't have the ability to.
Sure. Would you say, initially when we started really delving deep, because, I've been doing this for a long time, and I think that's what attracted you to want to be a part of this thing, but it wasn't as consistent basis as we are now.
Right.
In a sense, it's like working out, right? Like you go, you get sore, you don't want to do it, but after like a couple of 6 months, a year, it becomes a routine portion of your life, right? Where you actually start looking forward to it. And I think that's the case with anything else. as you level up your life, as you start doing the things that are required to be a crushing it type of business, which we've always desired to be, you start callousing, you start tearing that muscle and tearing and rebuilding stronger. So breaking down your I guess your aversions to certain things and getting better at it is how you excel in life, right? So like anything else, you're going to suck. This podcast sucked. It was fun. I think we actually had a really great time sitting on these two like chairs and broken down chairs in our storage unit back in Salinas. But if you go back and look compared to the quality of like the audio, the quality of equipment, it just wasn't on par to today. And I think that, and I know that in about 6 months to a year, it'll be even better than it was before, so.
And to that, like, I don't know if you and I were talking about it the other day, but one of our, one of the big names we follow, Andy Frisella, he just released the last podcast today of his MFCU podcast. And I told you, and I
still haven't listened to
well, it just came out. I haven't listened to it either. I'm going to check it out today, but I personally owe a lot to that guy.
Likewise.
Whether I ever get to meet that guy or not, I know we know somebody that is in his Arte Syndicate.
Yeah, Billy Anderson.
Billy Anderson from Go Fresh.
Go Fresh up in Modesto. Turlock,
so he's
Pleasanton.
But to be honest, like being a part of what he had to offer us, we found him at the right time. He was able to push us through some of the things where I felt like I was stuck. I know you felt like you were stuck. It was like that motivation we needed. And now like there's going to be a void there for me personally, but he's been gone for a while. I feel like now is the time where this is an opportunity. It's going to be hard to fill that guy's shoes, but it's an opportunity for us to put ourselves on that path
in our own way, right? Like we've always said, we're not here to be a copy of anybody else. I'm not trying to be a copy of Gary Vee. I'm not trying to be a copy of Andy Frisella. Andy Frisella gave us, I believe, because we both got the same passion and drive, but that swagger, that confidence, that like, F it, we're powering through. I mean, you got this. Is and he also talked a lot about leadership, and made me dig deeper into like leadership and a greater understanding, which led to, having Bernard with us and having, even before Bernard, the stuff that Brian had taught me helped it sink in a lot more. That how like connecting and having the guts to make those tough decisions. Andy really put fire and gasoline. So like we follow a book called Traction. It's like our entrepreneur operational, system here at MaxFit, and that's like the Bible here, right? Like. We're not trying to be sacrilegious, but a business has to have an operational system. That's what we've been developing the last year, a full-on operational system. And I firmly believe that without Andy's like daily or weekly motivation, because for a while it was daily because we had a lot of catch up, right? Like 40, 50 episodes, maybe in 100. I can't remember. I was behind.
I think we got, it was like in the hundreds by the time we found it. But yeah. I mean, you're live right now on Facebook.
I am.
Which is
What's
awesome.
Up, guys? Yeah, we're going from different directions. James Bacuzzi is the.
He's the marketing.
Yeah,
he is branding guru for a lot of brands in the
right.
In the
he's the brand creator. So I think misunderstood. Hey, what's up, Memo? James, keep doing what you're doing. We talked about this. I don't care what anyone says. I think
what we're really getting at with this whole thing is that. There are people that are going to inspire you. They're going to help you push through things. Andy Frisella for us was that guy at the right time.
Sure.
And it's a sad day, but I know the guy is driven. He's going to have something bigger and better coming out, that we can follow later on. But my I guess what I'm really getting to is, this is the time of year where you need to reflect back on what you've gone through over the years, or over this last year, and what you're going to do in the next year. I mean, not only are we going into 2020, a brand new year, we're going into a new decade. There's been a lot of changes in our climate in this country. Just every aspect of this country's changed in the last 12 months. And I'm excited for 2020. I'm excited because I feel like we're both MaxFit, Meek Marketing are both finally on the right track. We're heading forward in the right direction with the right momentum, with the right people, and going towards the right goals. Mm-hmm. And our goals are really closely aligned, in general. So, the changes that we've made have been tough. They've been hard. Just like you were saying, it's like working out. It's delayed, even for me,
delayed satisfaction, right? You're not going to see results right away. Sometimes, like, the hardest part for me was bringing on new individuals, whether it's Brian and having to invest in Brian and invest in an operations person, because that's just taking money out of my own pocket, right? And you don't always see results right away. Eventually I did, and that's what kind of like made all this worthwhile, and that's what we're talking about now, and that's the hardest part. If you're going to go to Meek Marketing Consultant, you're going to have Brian film some videos, you're going to have him target market for you. Don't expect to have people running through your door immediately. But the point is, I know Brian follows the same principles as us, and that's why I would say we're equally yoked and aligned in our thought, is that consistency, and he's going to teach you about your stories. He's going to teach you about, the hashtags from time of day to post, the right copy to put on there. And if you do that consistently over a time, and I'm not talking years, then you build traction and attention towards your business.
Right.
And Brian will help you with your quality content and all the other stuff, the placement, the ads, the demographic, and he knows all about the demographics. But that's the type of stuff it's scary to start breaking bread and putting money on the table for that kind of stuff, as well it is to pay all these extra people that build you a MaxFit University, which we're currently about 90 or 85% done with. That was a huge investment of my resources. But what's that going to do for me?
No, I mean, it's going to exponentially grow your business.
Right? Yes.
I mean,
it's going to free me up to be the visionary, because like that's my role in life. And that's another thing for the last year. I didn't understand the role that I was meant for. Right? I thought I could be all things to all people, and I was constantly putting out fires, from cleaning the toilets to stocking the shelves, and never really having the systems and routine, and understanding that, hey, this stuff can operate with the right systems on its own, where I can be the visionary person that goes out and makes the bigger contacts, meets the people and individuals that are going to help us grow to that next level. And that's another thing that we've also been working on, is like quarterly rocks, right? Stuff we want to,
big rocks.
Yeah,
the big things that you want to.
Well, yeah, in that quarter, right? And Brian, we have quarterly rocks for marketing. We have quarterly rocks for me personally. I know everyone on the team, the managers, the operations people, have quarterly rocks, something that the people's goals that they have, immediate goals that are going to propel us forward in this business. We also have year goals. We have 5 and 10 year goals, and we're going to expand, but there is no expansion without this EOS, this entrepreneurial operating system that we have developed. And it's really fascinating. It's really like exciting. And it's really a crazy time, man. And so I'm glad we are documenting these conversations via this podcast. And hopefully, if anyone's out there who's going through like the beginning, intermediate, and advanced stages of entrepreneurship, is listening, because don't drag your feet on this kind of stuff. Start now. It's like anything else, like building a physique, repairing a car. Years down the road, you'll reap the rewards of a little bit of harder work that you put in now. So
awesome.
Yeah.
I know we got all excited. The reason why we hopped on here,
we weren't even going to go on here today.
Whereas we got these brand new microphones. I mean,
check it out.
They sound freaking amazing. I mean, if you're interested in what they are, I'll drop a link in the comments where you can get them from. I'll probably start putting what our equipment is in there as well. But you guys, seriously, we're taking it to the next level, because we understand that this medium and this outlet for us is really kind of the direction we've been looking at going in for a long time. And it's finally exciting to get to that point where it's coming true. And we want to share all this stuff with you guys. Sure. You gave me some fantastic kind words. I'm going to cut all this up, and I'm going to take it and put it out there for everybody out there.
Feel free.
In our location and in our
came from the heart. So listen, it's the end of the year. It's been a fabulous year, but I wanted to just acknowledge all the customers that come through the door, all the people that work with MaxFit. I wanted to thank Brian personally. I want to thank all of my staff. Too many to list. But without customers, our amazing customers, which we've had like, I don't know. I mean, it varies time to time, but anywhere from 15,000 people a month pass through our locations. And I don't know if you can verify that at all, because you do help us on the back end of strategic stuff as well. But
that's protected information. I can't let anybody else know.
That's good. That was a test. That was a test.
That information is.
But a ton of people choose to come to MaxFit. We will not let you down in 2020. We have a lot of stuff up our sleeve. It's just been an exciting year. It's been a lot of work. It's probably been the hardest year of my life.
Biggest growth spurt in terms of like personal growth that we've gone through in the last 2 years since we've been together, for sure. 100%.
So I'm looking forward to doubling down on that. I just wanted to thank you guys. This will be my last podcast of 2019 because I'm going to the beautiful New York City. So if you're out there, hit me up. I'd love to meet up with you guys. I'm going to go out there, see some guys from the industry as well in the city, Manhattan. But if you're out there, definitely hit me up. I definitely want to meet up with you guys. But so Brian,
I'll be here next week by myself.
Yeah,
maybe I'll find a guest to come on. If not, no big deal. I'll be stuck here in Monterey, California, where it's not going to rain, it's not going to snow, and it's not going to be cold. And I have this beautiful fire behind me, so I'm not going to complain. Kris, thank you so much for those kind words. I want to say something, man. It's the end of 2019, and I tell you all the time, I post it all the time in my posts when I drop things with you guys. But honestly, without this company, without MaxFit, without Kris Spencer, I would not be where I am today. And that's not just professionally, that's personally, that's also, mentally, mindset wise. Like, I was given an opportunity to come on board in a situation where we both thought it was just going to be to kind of clean up the stores and get things back on track. And it's transformed into the ability to make an impact on people's lives at such a high scale that a lot of the times, there you go.
Yeah.
A lot of the times there's things that we put out that people don't even know. Like I have an impact on, or I'm behind the scenes on, and that's fine with me. I don't care, but I would have never had that opportunity without you and without this company. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man.
Thank you for the customers as well, because without you guys, seriously, we could have the best team in the world. We could have the best products. We could have the best prices. We could have the best everything. But without the best customers walking through these doors day in and day out, we wouldn't have anything. I wouldn't have a job. Kris wouldn't have a job. We wouldn't have MaxFit. And you guys wouldn't have access to all of the great things that we give you guys access to. And 2020 is going to be the not just next level. I think we're going to jump. We're going to start jumping steps in 2020. We're going to be jumping steps. So
great expansion. So thank you guys. I look forward to being back in this seat in 2020. I've already got a bunch of guests lined up.
Nice.
It's going to be exciting. There's going to be local people. There's going to be people from beyond. We're working on our technology, scaling up to have like remote guests and stuff like that. So if you're watching, you want to be on board, let's get you on board as well. There's plenty of room on the bus that we are going, which is going to be ultimate success.
Remember, guys, rate, review, comment, like, share, all the great things that get this podcast out there. That's all we got for you guys today. Everybody have a great day. Deuces.
Thank you for listening to the Misfit Sessions podcast. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast platform. Details about this episode can be found in the show notes. For all questions, feedback, or guest inquiries, please email us at misfitsessionspod@gmail.com. Until next time, have a great day.